Hey, welcome back to another edition of Bayview's 5 on 5. I'm Pastor Ian. Today I want to talk about ecclesiology. It's just a fancy word for theology and church and how we make church work well. The Board of Elders here, every year we read through a book and helping us on this subject. And the book we're reading right now is Deep and Wide by Andy Stanley. And in there, it used two terms. It used this word ecclesia and kerek. And kerek and ecclesia are two different understandings or approaches to understanding what is church. So ecclesia literally means the gathering of people for a specific purpose. And so if you think about it, this is the early church. Actually, in fact, in our Bibles, in the English translation, we read this word church. But every time it reads church, it actually says ecclesia within the Greek. And so this Greek understanding, or this New Testament understanding of church, was a gathering of the people. And although it could have military application or civic purposes in the Greco-Roman world, for a believer, it was a gathering of like-minded believers for the purpose of honoring God, experiencing God. This is what we see in Ephesians 2, where we see the Spirit of God dwelling amongst the people, where they can experience the power and the presence of God. Well, on the other side, there's kerek, where we get our modern English word, which is church. And this comes from our Gothic and Germanic brothers and sisters, where they were building physical edifices. They're building church buildings. It literally means house of the Lord. And many modern authors kind of talk about the church as being kind of negative when they refer to a physical building. But you got to understand, historically it had its place. If you imagine with me a medieval town, and they're building a structure with a specific purpose to bring honor to God. They built it right in the center of town, and they wanted to reflect God's brilliance. They wanted to reflect God's incredible presence amongst them. And with the low literacy rates, every aspect, to the carvings on the walls and the stone and the marble and the wood, to the actual stained glass windows, was to represent some aspect of Scripture, so you could walk in and just experience God through almost osmosis. But now if we fast forward to today and we start talking about how do we build effective ecclesiology when dealing with our present systems and structures, how do we do this effectively? Do we want more ecclesia, or do we want more kerek? Do we want more gathering of the people for a specific purpose, or more of a physical building? Well, most of us at Bayview would say, oh yeah, we're definitely ecclesia. But in a reality, when we launched Bayview, I would say we were more kerek. We defined ourselves by the movie theater. We would define ourselves as, hey, we're meeting in this theater. We're a movie theater church. We're cool and trendy. But we defined ourselves by a Sunday morning gathering in a building. Well, for Bayview to continue to grow, our ecclesiology has to be richer than a Sunday morning thing. We have to be the people of God gathering for a purpose. We can't just define ourselves by a Sunday service, but by being the church on Bayview. Well, this is Pastor Ian signing off on another edition of Bayview's 5 on 5. God bless you. We'll catch you next time.